Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good wherever we find you in this moment. My name is Abigail. I am here to get us started with Wisdom of the Ancients this moment, wherever it might be for you. At this time, we're going to start with a meditation just to get ourselves collected, present, and able to hear all that we're willing to hear at this time. So we're going to invite you to please get comfortable to the best of your abilities, either in a seated position or laying down or somewhere in between, knowing that you at any time can adjust your physical positioning or mental status and that you know its needs the most. So at this time, again, please get comfortable to the best of your abilities. I'm going to start just as we finish getting comfortable here, taking that first deep breath in. Just to get ourselves present. And as we go ahead and take that second deep breath in, just to bring ourselves a little bit more aware with our body, feel free to expand fully from the stomach. And on that exhale, start to bring the shoulders down and away from the ears. I'm going to start to release tension in the forehead. Continuing to release any tension around the eyebrows, the temples, the cheekbones. Releasing any tension in the jaw and behind the ears. Trusting yourself at this moment to let your guard down. Just be present with where we are, knowing that we're completely safe at this moment. Continuing with the breath, however it feels natural for you. Releasing tension around the lips. And start to bring our awareness down over the neck. Releasing any tension where the head meets the neck. And the neck meets the shoulders. Adjusting as you feel called to. Breathing through any discomfort that might find you here, knowing that that's just something emotional or spiritual that's ready to release within you. Taking another deep breath in on that exhale, releasing the shoulders, releasing the collarbones. Letting our upper arms sink a little further into the surface that we're in. Releasing tension in the elbows, the forearms, the wrist. Opening up the palm of that hand, stretching out all the finger joints. And take another deep breath in, straightening up our posture or opening up the space behind the heart. Really allowing our breath to expand here for all that love that we have to give and receive today. Coming down over that solar plexus, all those internal organs, not judging them, not shaming them for how they're presenting right now. Softening up those hip muscles and that lower back. Releasing any tension, sending love if we feel that we need it. As we soften up the hips, feeling all of our body sink a little further into the pelvic floor. Softening the thigh muscles, having gratitude for all the work that they have for us. Coming down over the knee, releasing all the tendons there, allowing for a little more flexibility. As we come down over the calf muscles, maybe stretching out those tendons, following whatever feels intuitively right for you. As we stretch out the ankle, the heel of the foot, the ball, and finally coming down to the toes, taking that deep, deep, deep breath in, pulling all the way up from our toes. Holding at the top and exhaling very leisurely. Taking a moment to regulate our breath to whatever is comfortable for us. As we take a moment of gratitude, first and foremost for ourselves for showing up this way today. Gratitude for the space that we're creating for us to hear messages from wherever we need to hear them from. And gratitude to Spirit for showing up to us this way. I'm going to take another moment to consider all that we're ready to let go of. And forcing that out with your next natural exhale. And with your next inhale, intentionally opening up space for all that we're getting ready to receive. At the end of that intentional exhale again, we're going to start to wake our bodies up, pulling that grounded energy all the way from the core of the earth, feeling present with our toes, feeling present with the arch of our foot, adjusting as needed, knowing that any more releasing that's happening is simply making more space for what we're about to receive. As we come up over the ankle, feeling calm and grounded, over the calf muscles, the tendons, the knees, leaving them nice and flexible for any changes that might need to occur after this session today. Coming up over the thighs, coming up over the hip bones, the seat bones, our lower back, feeling this grounded energy heal us as we come forward, leaving lots of space for opportunity and rapid manifestation. Coming up over the stomach and all those internal organs, once again having gratitude for all the space that they take for us. Coming up over the chest, stretching out, making just a little more space if we can in such a loving and compassionate way, not only for ourselves, but for those who will be listening. Coming up over the fingers, waking up the palm of the hand, stretching out the wrist, the forearm, the elbow, the upper arm and shoulders, allowing those shoulders to stay relaxed this moment. Coming up over the neck, stretching anything else that's lingering there, starting to wake up all the possibilities within us as we come up over the jaw, the cheekbones, the eyes, around the ears, opening up the back of our head, opening up the eyebrows, The forehead, coming up, finally reaching up towards our divine source, whatever that looks like for you. And when you're ready, opening your eyes as we begin to readjust to the room that you're in at this moment. Thank you for being present with me this moment. Thank you for being present for yourself and for spirit. As we continue on with today's session, I'm very thrilled to announce Polly Jo Labbe as she works forward as we transition into Wisdom of the Ancients. I'll be back later at the end to help us process some of this information into our physical form. But until then, I transition over to Wisdom of the Ancients. Thank you.
Hello, welcome for joining us this moment in time. It may be morning, afternoon, evening, whenever spirit calls to you to be present. Today, we'd like to bring forth the energy of our internal innate wisdom that is shared through our shared language of symbolism. Many of us know that there are signs and symbols that cross cultures and generations and language barriers, that we see and impart wisdom in the dream state that often is also symbolic. There are certain things that we are able to speak soul to soul with, and it is how we communicate with our spiritual teams. Whether you're being connected through dream time, maybe you're seeing the vibrant colors and things jumping out, or maybe it's repeated numbers or particular animals that have attracted your attention. Those all hold symbolic form, and that is your first language. It is the language of the soul. It doesn't matter what part of the country or the planet or the galaxy that you've been born into. Those symbols cross all of those barriers. And understanding that there are times when you are deeply connected to your intuition or deeply connected to the wisdom that your spiritual teams are sharing with you. And you are unable to put words to what you're seeing, sensing, or experiencing. And in those moments, it's the vibration of the symbol and translating what you're seeing, sensing, and knowing into whatever language you're speaking. And knowing that even if it's the primary language you've spoken your entire life, it's not your primary language. Symbolism is what we all are born with. And so, if we can be in a place of compassion and love and acceptance, that when someone is speaking in their second language, or in some cases their third or their fourth, they might struggle with the right wording or the way to really express what they truly are trying to convey. And when we are in that place, we can have compassion for those who are speaking to us, just as your angels and your messengers and your guides and your ancestors have compassion for you when you have difficulty hearing, seeing, sensing, or becoming aware of the messages and the information they're trying to pass on to you or through you. And one of the things that is so powerful about the symbolic language is that it can reach a depth farther than words. It, it speaks through the vibrational layers. It speaks past the ways that we have difficulty communicating with others. Many times you've heard the law of attraction and manifestation. And to attract what you desire, you have to be in the present moment, this now, already having what you desire to have in your life. And amazingly, that is true with communication as well. There are times when you are speaking and you feel like no one's listening. And that may simply because you do not match vibrationally for your words to resonate, to vibrate through their awareness. It doesn't mean that the words you say aren't important. It means that the other person is not ready to receive it or to hear it. You being present here in this moment, you are ready to receive this information and all the beauty that it wants to share with you. And when we imagine and connect to our symbolism and the symbolic language of our truth, of our soul, of our spirit, then we can take pause when we are having difficulty communicating. We can take pause when we realize we aren't hearing what someone else is truly saying. It's why body language can be extremely important when someone is communicating. We innately know what those symbols mean when someone crosses their arms, when they lean forward, when they lean back. We know what it means when they avoid eye contact or when they are in a place where they're just not home. But that is not something that is your fault. It just means that you aren't in a match vibrationally, like your magnets that don't click, they repel. It's why you can have an argument over and over again, and both sides don't feel heard. It's because what you are each saying doesn't match. There's no rightness, there's no wrongness. It just means it's time to get back into more symbolic language. And the symbolism behind compassion, love, and acceptance, it is that joyful, open-hearted energy. And when we're in that joyful, open-hearted energy, we can communicate without words. We can communicate with other people from other places and other languages and still know what the other is saying. And amazingly, we can be in a room with family who cannot hear us, even though we have tried communicating with them for decades. And it's because you're not a match vibrationally. There's no fault, there's no blame. It's just a matter of what frequency are you expressing through. It's like playing notes on the piano. You may be in a different octave, which might make it hard for someone else to sing along. But that doesn't make the octave wrong. It's just not a match in this moment. So we're inviting you to embrace symbolism again, and doing so looking for the patterns in your life, looking for things that are repeating. Not just numbers, but things like events, phrases that are said over and over again, people's names who come up over and over again. Maybe it's a particular color that's jumping out at you and it's showing you one of your chakra centers is asking for love and support. Maybe there's a color of the rainbow that you don't like. And that's showing you where some healing needs to happen so you can reignite that energy within you so that you can hold that energy once more. So you can have the entire flow that comes through connection and that beautiful level of communication when symbolism is flowing through the words that are spoken. These are all things you know innately. None of this is new. And that's the key to the wisdom that comes through the ancients and speaks even to the ancient within you. It's simply being in a place of awareness, remembrance, and activation, and taking the lesson and carrying it forward. Maybe it's recording your dreams so you can see the symbolism that comes through in that way. Or maybe it's recognizing how often you see a hawk in the sky and that's spirit circling overhead getting your attention. Maybe it's the master number 333 that just activates every time something wonderful is happening for you. Because all of the symbols and the signs are there. We've just forgotten to look for them. So the Great Council wants to remind all of us that there's more than words in communication, and that your spirit team, your angels, your guides, your ancestors, all the star beings, the animals, the nature plane, all of them are communicating with you. If you're open to sensing it, feeling it, maybe you'll even hear it or see it. But using all of your senses, including your intuition and beyond, because that is what will help guide the transition out of this very dense energy in the third dimension as you move into the fourth, the fifth, and beyond. And remember, at all these moments, communication can still happen even when you can't find the words. Just open your heart and speak your truth and allow your higher self to speak for you when you can't find the words. Because spirit always knows, and spirit always is able to communicate. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again. Bye for now.
What an amazing conversation, amazing amount of lessons and information, and plenty of food for thought. Thank you for coming in as we start to ground some of this information. Let's again go ahead and get comfortable as we start to ask the question of what am I ready to receive from this symbolization, and how can I open myself up for more possibility, more communication, more clarity within that symbolization. So as we do so, try to calm our minds from all the information that just woken within us. We're going to get comfortable to the best of our abilities as we do our once before. We're going to take a deep breath in and bring our attention to the earth beneath us as we start to feel its security and comfort, knowing that it always stands for us without our asking or our wanting. It's simply there below us. We're going to take this energy and as our next inhale, bring it up to the bottom of our feet. Feeling that connectedness, having gratitude for what is presenting for us. Knowing that we're safe to start to experience the symbolism around us. Noticing the small details on the ground level, which feels far below us on a regular basis. Knowing that nothing will happen in a negative consequence by simply noticing what's below us or out of sight. We'll start to feel this energy move up over the ankles, filling in all the gaps there, allowing for a sturdy, strong connection. As we come up over the calf muscles, acknowledging our own inner strength and desires to receive these symbols and to present with them, having an awareness for them. Coming up over the knees, being open to all possibilities and interpretations, even those we might be afraid of or not quite willing to see at this time. Feeling this energy come up over the thighs, allowing it to continue to support the rest of our physical body, our emotional body, our spiritual body, and beyond. As we start to enter our feelings, recognizing that our feelings are their own symbols for how we're doing internally, having a willingness to express them, to see them through art or music, through writing, through communication, just having a willingness to be there with them and to keep that divine flow going. Coming up over the stomach, allowing all the ego to temporarily be moved to the side, knowing that our divine has no room for it. And as divine beings, we'll only have the space for a highest, brightest connection that we're willing to receive in any given moment. Again, feeling grounded in this space, knowing that we're ready to process and receive in a way that supports ourselves and others. Take that deep breath in, filling the heart and all of its chambers. Allowing ourselves to breathe even into the high heart, allowing those pure love vibrational frequencies to fill here. Knowing again that love is how we communicate through symbolism the most effectively, even without words. Sitting in this space, knowing that we're worthy of that connection here on this dimension, but also of that connection for a higher power in our spiritual teams, as well as our ancient teams who are ready to continue to teach us from within the heart. Taking a deep breath in, opening up the collarbones, allowing this sense of comfort to wash over our arms, our elbows, the forearms, the wrist, opening up the hand, allowing us to continue to move forward with these messages and act if we feel so inclined. Coming up over the neck, opening up that truth, opening up the ability to express however we're feeling inclined through our symbolism, for our symbolism, or on behalf of our higher powers, opening up the jaw, the cheekbones, opening up the eyes, the ears for all that we can see and hear, opening up the forehead to use our intuition in balance when reading, recognizing, and seeing these symbols around us, being willing to see them for what they are and trusting that inner knowing as they're presented. Coming up over the back of the head and lovingly opening up that connection to our divine, where this all stems from, as if we're returning home. Knowing again that the divine is the family we are constantly seeking communication with. Posing the question, are you ready to hear what's being said? Taking a moment to sit with that question, knowing that we can come back to it at any time we are questioning our connection to a divine, knowing that we're in complete control about whether or not we're hearing at any given moment. I'm going to take another deep breath in, bringing in all the wisdom, the knowledge, the comfort, the understanding, tying that with our divine connection in our physical body, and feeling that wash over the physical body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body, down over the shoulders, the stomach, all those internal organs, the back, the hips, coming down over the thighs, the knees, the ankles, the feet, into the earth, knowing as always, we can call these symbols to us whenever we're needing a moment of comfort or security, because we're all connected as one. At the end of that exhale, start to bring yourself back to the room that you're in, the space that you're in, the time, the third dimension, hopefully, if not beyond. Knowing, as always, that you can return to this recording anytime you're needing a gentle reminder of how we connect to something larger than us. Maybe you have a question about spirituality or the symbolism of the world around us. Remembering that you yourself are part of the divine creation as you are divine. Again, thank you for joining us in whatever moment you're in, and it's goodbye for now.